Hey everyone, and welcome to Talk ETFs, ETF.com's weekly video series. My name is Sumit Roy and I'm Senior Analyst for ETF.com. This week I'm talking with Will Rhind, who's the founder and CEO of GraniteShares. Will, great to see you.
Thank you, Sumit. Good to see you again.
Will, disruptive technology was all the rage back in 2020 and 2021. Obviously, people are still interested in investing in companies that have the potential to upend industries and see massive growth, but they're not willing to pay any price for those stocks anymore. So with that context, can you tell us about the GraniteShares Nasdaq Disruptors ETF, ticker symbol DRUP? How does it compare to the other disruptive tech ETFs that are out there, as well as the broader tech ETFs?
Great question. I think, so first starting point is that DRUP, we believe, is unique in the sense that what it's really trying to do is target the top 50 disruptive companies in the US market as measured by Nasdaq. So we partnered with the Nasdaq on this particular ETF. So it's a large cap strategy that tries to select the top disruptive companies. And disruptive companies are measured by a disruptor score. So there are a lot of different elements that go into coming up with a score. But it's going to look at companies that have things like patent value, revenue growth, gross margins, things like that go into creating a score. But ultimately, we believe it's a disciplined way to play innovation. And a lot of the companies that you'll see on this list are going to be companies that are highly profitable. This is not sort of speculative tech. It's just companies that have a lot of disruptive power.
That's awesome. And obviously one part of the tech industry that people have been very interested in over the past year is artificial intelligence. Do you think this ETF can capture the coming growth in AI? And what kind of exposure does it have to AI today?
So I think clearly the strategy is it's not specifically an AI ETF. However, if you take the view, as do we, that AI is going to be ubiquitous and all companies either have to have an AI strategy or will be using AI in their businesses, then by default, it's going to capture a lot of the interest around AI. So when you look at the top 50 disruptive companies, you're going to see companies in that list that people will associate directly with AI and companies that will be using AI as kind of part of their strategy. But this is, again, a company where to be a top disruptor, one of the top 50 disruptors, be selected by having the score, and out of the 500 largest names in the Nasdaq 500, top 50 companies will be selected by the disruptive scores.
That's great. So a lot of people will look at this ETF, Will, and see that you partnered with Nasdaq on it. Of course, Nasdaq is also the index provider for that famous QQQ's ETF. How does an investor decide between your ETF and that one?
I think that people will clearly have to make their own determination at the end of the day between those two indices. But for me, DRUP is very concentrated. So that's 50 of the top disruptive companies in the US. It's purely large cap. And it is a concentrated play specifically trying to isolate disruption. So as we all know, with the triple Qs, that is representative of that particular index. So it's going to be broader based. It's going to be including companies that just from a market cap perspective make it into the index. And so DRUP is definitely a more thematic play. It's for people that want to own disruption in their portfolio, want to find a piece of that portfolio that's disruption. It's not necessarily competing directly with, say, a triple Q or an S&P 500 in that sense. It's really an idea of people that want to isolate the top 50 disruptive companies in the market.
Fantastic. Well, this was a great discussion, Will. Thanks so much for taking the time and sharing your insights with us.
Great to see you again, Sumit. Thank you for having me on.